toute cette affaire de Signalgate est terminée, et réglée, du moins c'est ce que Caroline Levitt nous a dit ce matin. Mais honnêtement, c'est loin d'être la vérité. Nous ne laisserons pas ces personnes qui n'arrêtaient pas de dire mais ces emails s'en sortir. Après à peine une semaine de discussion sur l'une des plus grandes menaces pour la sécurité de notre pays que nous ayons jamais connue. Nous examinerons leurs sottises, soulignerons à quel point ils sont imprudents et mal préparés, et utiliseront toute l'influence possible pour nous assurer qu'ils en subissent les conséquences. C'est exactement ce qui s'est passé lorsqu'un démocrate a fait cette annonce stupéfiante, un coup sérieux porté à Trump, Hecht, Walz, Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, et toute cette bande de plaisantins. Nous aborderons tout cela, mais d'abord, pourriez-vous rapidement cliquer sur le bouton j'aime de cette vidéo, et si vous appréciez notre chaîne, mais ne vous êtes pas encore abonné, veuillez le faire. Cela nous aide vraiment et signifie beaucoup pour moi. Avant de parler de ce qui s'est passé sur le parquet de la Chambre qui inquiète beaucoup Trump, nous avons besoin de quelques informations de base sur les dernières mises à jour de Rachel Matt.
The Signal group texting about war plans, that scandal is also continuing to blow up, even though they keep trying to pretend either it didn't happen or it's over now. The Wall Street Journal reporting this weekend that this apparently was not the first time that Trump National Security Advisor Michael Waltz had convened a group of Trump cabinet officials in a group chat on this commercial texting app. Quoting from the Wall Street Journal this weekend, quote, 2 U.S. officials also said that Waltz had created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as other military operations. Sources, quote, declined to address if any classified information was posted in those chats. So yeah, this thing isn't going away. Wait till we find out what all the other ones were. And then there's Pete Hegseth, the Fox News weekend host who Donald Trump appointed to lead the Defense Department. In recent days, we have learned that Pete Hegseth not only posted a detailed timeline of a forthcoming military strike to that group chat on Signal, which inadvertently included a reporter, Pete Hegseth also, according to the Wall Street Journal, quote, brought his wife, a former Fox News producer, to 2 meetings with foreign military counterparts where sensitive information was discussed. The meetings included the Ukraine Defense Contact Group at NATO, a closed-door meeting of that group, more than 50 countries represented there, and also a very sensitive meeting with the British Defense Secretary. Pete Hegseth has been bringing his wife to these meetings. Does she have a security clearance? This is the same wife, you may recall, who Mr. Hegseth brought with him to his meetings with U.S. senators ahead of his confirmation process for this job. That, of course, made it socially awkward for those senators to ask him at those meetings about the rape allegations that he had faced in California and his alleged serial infidelity and problems with drinking on the job. He has denied the rape allegations in California, and, of course, he was never charged in conjunction with those allegations. That said, the Associated Press is also now reporting on the strange circumstance that has arisen at the Pentagon in Mr. Hegseth's short time there, in which not only is he bringing his wife to sensitive meetings with foreign military leaders, but he's also somehow got himself into a situation where his baby brother, his younger brother, Phil, has also ended up on the plane to Guantanamo.
Une stupidité complète et une incapacité totale à faire le travail à aucune préoccupation, et juste des absurdités magadaillées qui se propagent dans toute cette administration. C'est pourquoi nous ne laisserons pas Caroline Levitt prétendre que cette affaire est terminée et qu'ils ne font qu'avancer. Nous avons besoin d'un examen plus approfondi de ce qui s'est passé, pas seulement pour faire répondre les gens de leurs actions et leur faire perdre leur poste, mais pour qu'ils subissent les conséquences juridiques qu'ils méritent pour avoir enfreint nos lois. Et c'est précisément ce qu'une représentante démocrate a annoncé à la Chambre. Une enquête, comme vous pouvez le voir dans cet extrait ici.
Mr. Speaker, I rise with deep shock, concern, and outrage at the carelessness of the Trump administration in disclosing highly sensitive operational military plans on a commercial chat platform that included a reporter. Without a doubt, this reckless incompetence put our service women and men in danger. Last week, I received a call from a constituent whose son is deployed abroad in the region. His son's mission was personally put at risk by the very same people charged with safeguarding our armed forces who put their lives on the line for us. This Arizona father and his son sacrificed for our country, and we should all be ashamed that this is how their service is repaid. The Trump administration officials who set up and participated in this Signal chat debacle should have taken responsibility for their egregious mistake and instantly offered their resignation for having violated the law, contravened common sense, and put American troops in harm's way. Let me put it this way. Not only did the National Security Advisor set up an illegal, unsecured chat with the Secretary of Defense, the CIA Director, the Vice President, and others to discuss highly sensitive and imminent attack plans, but they also bungled their way into adding a random person into the chat. We should not be surprised in the slightest that the Trump administration treats our nation's secrets this way. This is the same man, after all, who had our nuclear code sitting in his bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. The way that the administration has handled this entire calamity has been equally as dangerous. Secretary of Defense Hegseth straight up lied. He said there was no classified information on the chat, that he didn't share attack plans, that no troops were put in harm's way. And then there's our Director of National Intelligence, who is supposedly our nation's most trusted, meticulous secret keeper, who went before the Senate to mislead, evade, and perjure herself. What a truly disgraceful episode. This is not a partisan issue. In fact, both the chair and ranking member of the Senate Armed Service Committee, in a bipartisan manner, requested that the Pentagon investigate the use of the Signal app to share classified information. We can all agree that no government employee, let alone a cabinet member, should be sharing classified information in a Signal chat and be careless enough to add a reporter to it as well. There should be a serious after-action review to prevent this from ever happening again, and one that considers the criminality involved. And yet another Trump lackey, our Attorney General, who is officially supposed to be the people's lawyer, is ruling out a criminal investigation into the scheme altogether. These are the same people that spent the better part of a decade looking into Hillary's emails. They evidently do not care to even pretend to investigate how our nation's most secret information was being shared. The ramifications of this unmitigated disaster will be felt for years, even decades to come. Why would any of our allies share sensitive information with us if the Secretary of Defense is just going to pop it in a group chat and share it with the editor-in-chief of a national publication? In conjunction with all of the other actions the Trump administration has taken to dismiss or turn our backs on our allies, I am deeply concerned about how Signalgate will make us much less safe in the long term. Our nation deserves better. Our servicewomen and men deserve better. We deserve better. Thank you. I yield back.
Je rends la parole. Nous avons définitivement besoin de plus de détails sur ce qui s'est passé. Nous devons savoir si la sécurité de notre nation a été totalement mise en danger par ce qui sont peut-être les personnes les plus incompétentes à avoir jamais travaillé dans notre gouvernement. C'est particulièrement important puisque de nouvelles informations sur cette histoire continuent de sortir quotidiennement, comme la façon dont Pitagès traite essentiellement ces réunions de sécurité nationale comme des rencontres décontractées entre amis, pas littéralement en apportant de la bière mais honnêtement je ne serais pas surpris. Il a amené sa femme, son frère est impliqué d'une manière ou d'une autre, et nous apprenons l'existence d'autres discussions sur Signal qui ont été complètement exposées, et nous avons vu Jen Psaki décomposer toutes ces informations juste ici.
It turns out all these people who have worked on national security issues for years were onto something. They knew. I mentioned this new reporting earlier, but it bears repeating. I mean, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Quote, 2 U.S. officials said that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on how to broker peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as military operations. They declined to address if any classified information was posted in those chats. Of course, they declined to address that. I mean, that is one of those things that is shocking a little bit, but also not really surprising. The Wall Street Journal is also reporting that even though Trump has decided not to fire Walls for now, the damage done to his reputation has put him on shaky ground in the White House, and he has lost sway with the president. Go figure. I mean, he's lost sway because he had Jeffrey Goldberg in his phone, though. I think that's the deal. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that this latest reporting about multiple other sensitive national security chats is only going to make that ground a whole lot shakier. That's my bet. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Jason Crow of Colorado. He's a former Army Ranger who served 3 tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's also a member of the House Intelligence Committee. So I just want to start there. I suspect you're one of those people who thought maybe there's going to be other chats out there, because, of course, that wasn't the only one. The one they referenced and that the Wall Street Journal reported on today included conversations about Russia and Ukraine, as well as military operations, which is not specific. But you're a veteran. You've served in Iraq and Afghanistan. How concerned are you about what else could be out there? And what should people understand about the sensitivity of that type of information?
Well, there's no doubt this appears to be part of a larger pattern and practice that's both sloppy and reckless, but also probably violates a number of laws. But, you know, for all the discussion about violation of laws and the violation of process, I think what's most important here is the risk, the ongoing risk that's posed to our servicemen and women right now. Right? In this town, we sit around in D.C. all the time, and we talk about process, we talk about laws, we talk about principals committees, we throw out all these terms. But what is really important is there's some private, there's some sergeant, there's some captain downrange right now where we're having this conversation doing a risky mission. And our adversaries, Russia, China, and others are trying desperately to get information to harm them. So this recklessness is not without substantial risk to them.
I think this is such an important piece for people to understand, because the risk, say, with the operation in Yemen was that the Houthis could have known in advance. They didn't, but they could have known in advance. The military, members of the military who operationalized that could have been at risk. When it relates to Russia and Ukraine, who knows what that means? But if there were chats about Ukraine military equipment or operations or locations, all of this puts the people who are participating in it at risk. Is there more people should understand about that as somebody who's done these missions?
We don't know. First of all, let's talk about the Houthis. A lot of discussion about that.
Yeah.
Right? I think sometimes people had this impression that, oh, this is a bunch of guys with AK-47s rolling around the back of pickup trucks. No, this is a military force.
Yeah.
This is an army that has some of the most sophisticated air defense systems in the world, so much so that they actually have been shooting down American unmanned aircraft. They shot down an MQ-9 Reaper drone just last year. So the idea that these folks could have had information, and they're aligned with the Russians, we know that, could have had information in advance warning of a very risky strike that our pilots were conducting over enemy territory is really outrageous to me.
Nous ne pouvons pas simplement laisser MAGA s'en tirer. Nous ne pouvons pas les laisser esquiver ce scandale. Nous devons continuer à avancer et recueillir davantage d'informations, pas seulement parce que c'est une question politique importante, mais parce que cela affecte directement notre sécurité nationale. Soyons honnêtes, nous sommes tous en danger si nous ne les tenons pas responsables. C'est pourquoi nous discuterons de ce sujet sur notre émission chaque jour. Si vous voulez soutenir ce que nous faisons, comme toujours, vous pouvez cliquer sur ce bouton d'abonnement et laisser un j'aime sur cette vidéo. Et si vous êtes resté jusqu'à la fin, déposez un cœur bleu dans les commentaires. À la prochaine fois, à bientôt.